10 seconds, and then you could start.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Benan speaking.
Hi, Albert. Mr. Benan.
All right, you should be all set.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is a call to order for the Ad Hoc District-Wide Branding Initiative Committee meeting. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Welcoming everyone that's here, welcoming all of our staff, all of our board members, Mr. Benahan, Mr. Weldon, and Ms. Castillo, and to also Mr. Sokolovic and any other person that I may be missing because I can't see everyone on screen. So we're going to get started. I would like to start by approval of the meeting minutes for March 16th meeting. Can I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any questions, edits?
No.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Here, and nays have the same nays. Any opposals? Hearing none. We have approved our meeting minutes. So what I would like to do is bring up our district logo, just an update on where we are. I have been following all of them, so I just want to see where we are. If there's anything you guys need. So Ms. Rosha and your team.
Sure, we're up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So just wanted to introduce our strategic planning committee, and then I'll hand it over to the co-chairs, and we're going to be very brief as well. So we have tonight here with us Dr. Renee Rizal. She's a director and associate professor from Sacred Heart University. Michael Brosnan, who has a lot of jobs, but going to give me a title. He works with a lot of the new teacher trainings and evaluation mediator. Shirley Underhill, who's BPS L instructional specialist, and Dr. Rayola, the principal from Bassick, and Louisa Wolf is also part of our committee, but I don't believe she's here tonight, but she's the principal of Geraldine Johnson School. And so the co-chairs of this committee are Dr. Rizal and Mr. Brosnan, so I'm going to turn it over to them, but I will pull up a graphic on what we've kind of been working on and focusing some of our work, and I'll let them do the rest of the talking.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carly, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for welcoming us to your session. I know that you've been hard at work on some rebranding for Bridgeport Public Schools, and I really appreciate the work and the effort that you're putting in. I'm very thankful to Ms. Brown for allowing us being open to chatting with us. We wanted to make sure that things that we were doing in the construction of the strategic plan were aligned to what this committee was thinking. So really nothing is firm, but we did want to share a graphic that we have been toying with over the past month. If everybody can see the screen, it's a graphic, sure, but I just sort of wanted to explain a little bit about the process for what the Strategic Plan Committee has done over the past several months. We realized that the core piece of our strategic plan for Bridgeport Public Schools needed to be the graduate itself. They are the reason why we all work and why we all worry and why we all are creative about our respective roles in Bridgeport Public Schools. And so we kind of had the feeling and the inclination that the graduate themselves had to be at the center of the work for both the strategic plan, and as you can see, that's where it lands on our sort of draft graphic here. The Strategic Plan Committee has spoken to hundreds of folks in the Bridgeport Public Schools community, alumni, community partners, university partners, vocational and business partners, teachers themselves, students themselves, principals, paraprofessionals, custodial workers, really the whole gamut of those of us who make up the Bridgeport Public School community. And so it's a little hard to see on my screen anyway, but you can see on the outer ring surrounding the graduate are those folks, starting with families and guardians and teachers and administrators, school-based and city-based support staff, our university and vocational partners, and our community partners. Those are the folks who support the Bridgeport graduate, and those are the folks that we inquired about with three main questions, asking them what they loved about Bridgeport schools, what attributes they thought were important for a Bridgeport graduate to possess, and what their hopes were for Bridgeport Public Schools. And so that's sort of the direction that this strategic plan has been going. And some of those things are identified on the middle ring, the attributes of a graduate, and then the larger buckets that will inform the strategic plan are that inner ring that you can see there. I will offer the caveat that that is not the Bridgeport Skyline. So you may have noticed that is not our city. But we do have a product, I think Carly has an image of that too, that I'm not sure if Dr. Henry or Carly can speak to its origin, but I believe it's the Bridgeport Public School student created this skyline that would replace that placeholder one. I know that your committee is working on a lot of things with the branding, but we did sort of want to share where the results of our strategic planning sort of landed us with that sort of circular graphic with the attributes of the graduate, those who support the graduates sort of surrounding that image, and those major buckets that the school district will be working towards.
I have a question. Is this a logo for the strategic plan, or is this the cover page of the strategic plan? How is the design intended to be applied?
That's a great question, and right now it's just a complete draft, so that's why we were happy to meet with this committee as well, because pieces are in motion, from what I understand, for this committee, and they are for us as well. We liked the idea of having it be the cover page, and then being obviously fleshed out and referenced throughout the subsequent pages, what all of those rings and words, how they sort of tie together. Great question, thank you.
And I think for us too, putting all the work we were doing into a visual was just helpful for us. And that's kind of how this all kind of got the ball rolling with the visual, because it was just easier for us to put all of these working pieces together in something that we could look at.
Nice. So this would be considered like a sub logo to the one that we would consider our main logo, in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ms. Brown, I think that would be sort of up to your committee's discretion. We're happy to use what this committee decides on. This was just sort of reflective of the process of the strategic plan steering committee took, and the amount of people who we spoke with and the information we gleaned from those conversations and surveys and so forth.
How many items are included in that circular part of the graphic? How many pillars of the strategic plan have you outlined?
Yeah, so I think there are four main areas that were identified through all of our conversation and going through all of the data. They were the areas of wellness, engagement, knowledge, and infrastructure.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I have a question too, like with this particular strategic plan, I know Ms. Carly was introducing it to me. I just want to know, so this is the students side of it, correct?
No, this ultimately it'll be a district strategic plan document.
Okay.
So it is in the works, it is in draft. So we're looking for a nearly complete draft to be done very shortly to share with the superintendent, for us to receive some edits and kind of troubleshoot some things with some focus groups. And hopefully it lands in front of you very soon as well as Board of Ed members.
Perfect. Any questions, concerns, Albert? I don't know if Joe is still here, Mr. Weldon. Anyone want to add to it? Floor is yours. Nope.
I do have one concern about this performing as a logo in any circumstance. I think, looking at it as cover art for the strategic plan is sort of fine by me. I think, because we're working on another initiative to solidify a logo for the district. So it seems, I work for a school, a private school in Stamford, and I actually just got finished designing our strategic plan document. And our document has, you know, a really attractive cover photo of kids in a science lab because it's an inquiry-based institution. And it has, of course, the logo. And it says strategic plan, King School, approved by the Board of Trustees, you know, and it's the cover image is an actual image, you know, and the logo is the logo. So whatever logo we choose as a district should reside on that cover page, you know. So I just worry that those two images might compete with each other. I do understand sort of using visuals to kind of understand the framework of how this is going to roll out in the following pages. But I also feel that, you know, good design speaks for itself. It doesn't need to necessarily, like, I don't think the cover page needs to necessarily have the 4 pillars, you know, like typed out on the front page. You know, it's just like kind of like an attractive cover page that states what it is, and then you open it, and there's usually, you know, some either introductory text or introductory letter, and that sort of gets into the meat and potatoes of what is to follow throughout the document. So yeah, that was really my main concern, was that whatever logo we do choose ends up sort of competing with this graphic on the cover page there.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo, for sharing that. We're all on the same team. There is no competition here whatsoever.
Right.
So we are happy to, you know, we wanted to share how we were visualizing some of the elements of the strategic plan. What ends up on the cover page, I love what you described for your school that you're working with. So, I mean, that's we're certainly not married to any sort of design at the moment. We just did want to share some images that we have been working with, and that's all. But thank you very much for your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Mr. Weldon, and then we'll go to Ms. Henry.
Yeah, I was just going to kind of mirror what Ms. Castillo said, where I think we're at a stage now with the overall branding where we haven't really settled on anything. So maybe at this point, you know, like Ms. Castillo said, maybe just a nice photograph, some basic text that's easy on the eye for that cover. And then whenever we do get to, because I mean, strategic plans, they get updated regularly. So
Right.
if we're not at the point yet where we have a solid brand mark or anything like that, we don't have to use one. But when we do have one and we're updating this in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, that's the point where you can apply it. So I think, yeah, if you just use like a nice photograph that's captures something positive, student oriented, and just basic text to keep it clean, I think that would be sufficient for this stage of the game.
Thank you. Ms. Henry?
Hi, yes, thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that our district logo, I met with the designer the other day, and he has not come back to me with the new updated versions based on your feedback. But what I did wanted to potentially suggest, that visual that this committee has created could work thematically if we change some of the colors. So this committee came up with some colors that worked for Bridgeport Public Schools that they really wanted to use to incorporate. So I wonder if once our logo for the district is solidified, if you could apply some of the colors to match thematically what it is demonstrating. And maybe if it's not the cover page, maybe it's the back page as a summary of all your work culminating in a visual. But, you know, once we have the colors settled and that sort of thing, we could certainly try to tie in the image to match the district branding.
Agreed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, because as you can see, like, graphic design is not our expertise on this committee, so
I think you guys did great.
I really appreciate the feedback and expect a phone call. I definitely think I think the way the strategic plan, what it looks like, should agree with everything this committee decides. Absolutely. So I thank you for beginning this conversation, Ms. Brown, and Dr. Henry. I'm certain I'll be in touch with you. So thank you.
Yeah. And just for the record, also too, like when Ms. Rocha brought it to me, it was more on this kind of like, hey, here's what we're thinking of. So we're not married to anything. And they're, for the most part, they're looking for more of a direction and idea of what we can do to make it better. So I'm grateful that you guys were able to join us and share what's going on, because you're helping give life to what we're trying to work on anyway, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, or however you want to call it. All right. Mr. Benahan.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. I like the way the logo look like, colors and everything, but I have a little concern about the city and the bottle. It look like, when it's blue, I don't know, they don't look like it's the city of Bridgeport. Everybody know how the city of Bridgeport look like. I really send you something, Ms. Brown, you want to share with everyone later by email, how the city will look, black and white, that look nice.
Mhm.
Also, the student in the middle, the student in the middle, why cannot be a different way, that different colors, race, black, one white, one brown, stuff like that. The one I sent it to you, Ms. Brown, you see all the students with the cap and gown in different colors.
Mm-hmm.
There will be nice different student there in the front.
So Mr. Benahan sent me some clip art. So I will send this to Miss Rocha, and or you can send it to Miss Rocha and just CC all of us, so that she can kind of what you're thinking of. And
everything's nice. Everything, the color, the words and everything is perfect. I like it, but I'm concerned about the CD and only one student. So I will send it to you guys. You can see it, and maybe you can say, over here, over there. That's what I mean. Or maybe you have something different that look similar to what I got. But everything so far, everything look nice. I like it.
Got it.
Miss,
Your hand is still up. I didn't know if you wanted to still add, Mr. Weldon. Are you all set?
Take it down.
Okay.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we're still working with Ms. Henry to get a basis back for our logo, because I also looked in the packet. I noticed there wasn't any difference in there from the ones that we did see. So please, at least if we have to have a meeting before our next meeting, just so that we're not behind on anything, definitely let us know when we can check in, so I can let Rita know if we need to have another meeting, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
As soon as I hear back from the designer, I will send it straight on to you guys so that you can see it prior to any meetings.
Okay. Because the next phase of this was to be able to see it, and then go from there to see about if we can get teachers, staff, and students, or potential board members to review it as well. So but thank you both. So we've checked off any questions, Mr. Benahan and Miss Erica, for Miss Henry, or for, I know you answered for Miss, but any questions for Miss Henry concerning the logo? I know we don't have anything, but just anything you want to add while she's here.
Is the logo, when you say the logo, are you referring to what we just saw?
No. So at our last meeting, we went over what the designer presented for us. We had some corrections and concerns. I know you weren't able to see it all at the last meeting, but if you look in the packet, in the district-wide packet, you'll see what they proposed for us to work with, or thoughts and ideas of what we came up with. Right. That's in there, but I know that we had a whole thinking session where we just added to it as well, subtracted from it as well. So I didn't know if you get a chance to see it, but I didn't, since she's here, if you had any questions based off of what was in the packet.
Okay, yeah, I did get a chance to see it, and I thought it was really solid. So excellent work, guys.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So thank you both for that. So then I'm going to go back to Ms. Rocha again, just for an update. Anything on the billboards that you want to share? I've been following them, so I didn't know if you want to share with the rest of the team.
Sure. So I think Lynn had sent around just one picture of the updated billboard, but I think it's even been updated since then, right, Lynn? I think since the last one we sent, but I will share my screen quickly. And this was the latest one that was sent, but it has been even updated since then. I'm not sure, Lynn, which school is being represented right now.
So right now we're representing Barnum and it actually circulates. There's several Barnum pictures within the billboard in the 3 different languages.
Nice.
We usually, it's really, everybody's really, getting excited about this initiative. We will feature Tisdale next week, and that cycle will run for 2 weeks as well. And some of these are schools that are actually engaging in attendance campaigns. We had Carly represented the pre-K. They actually created T-shirts so that they could use these T-shirts to take a picture and post on the billboard. We have other students that hold up perfect attendance signs, and they're using those as well. The other piece that we incorporated into it was we had our National Social Emotional Learning Day, and we had 5 award winners, 5 schools that won, and we are featuring them on the billboard as well, because part of the grant is not just attendance, but it's also student and family engagement, and we recognize that social emotional learning is a big piece of student engagement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can definitely attest, being able to see like the students, say, hey, I'm up on the billboard. And I think that's kind of the energy we wanted to be capturing with our students, is when they see themselves and identify themselves, it gives them that excitement, like, hey, they see me, they hear me. And even if starting with attendance is just a plus, as, so I always, sing your praises, because it's creative, and it's giving our students an opportunity to see themselves, and to encourage other students to do the same. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Benahan, Ms. Castillo, any other staff that would like to add to the billboards, any thoughts, concerns?
Okay. They look very nice, and very excited, because I know a lot of parents, when they would tell me, oh, I see the board in the 95. I said, just be careful, be sure you look to the front. Don't turn your head to the side. But, look everything nice, and the good things that the students like it. I got some students like the one last month at Bassett High School. I see students, oh my God, I see myself, and the 95 and everything. They was very excited. That's part of this, to be sure students be happy, be positive. They know we care about them, and the great and amazing job they're doing. But they good. They look very nice. Good job.
Ms. Castillo, any questions, concerns, thoughts?
This might be a little off subject, but I just wanted to say about the strategic plan document, that also there should be some opportunity on the inside pages to add visuals. Like the whole visual doesn't have to live on the front page, but you can also like add photos throughout and make it a little more interesting than just text, because nobody likes to read. All right, that's it.
You're fine. Anyone else want to add to it? Okay. Nope. Okay. So so I'm grateful to continue to stay updated with it. And I do have a question. Is there any are we stuck to the color of the billboard, like that black background? Like, is there a specific reason? I don't know. I'm just asking.
We are not stuck to a specific color. That was just the design that we initially chose. We are starting to have conversations about a new design, especially just to kind of capture the end of the school year, where we start to see some students drop off. So we thought we'd change it up there. And then we also want to focus, because we do have billboards for the late summer, early fall. We'd like to focus on some type of campaign to ensure that students are aware of when school is starting and really promote attendance early on. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely open to suggestions. We still, Ms. Brown, are considering the positive campaign piece. I would really like to come up with a positive messaging as well. So definitely open to different design ideas.
Okay, good. Only reason why I asked because like it's great, but I'm also like, as it's getting spring and maybe something that pops a little more when you're on the highway, to gather not too much attention, because I know Mr. Bennett was talking about like, not too much attention, but just enough so that it can stand out a little bit more now that it's spring. That's the Easter in me. But thank you for sharing and presenting. If there's nothing else, thank you for always joining us and keeping us updated with information. I'm going to pull up the agenda just to make sure we're all where we're supposed to be.
Can I ask you one more question about the billboard?
Definitely.
I had a question about the reason why Brighter Futures Begin Today is in sentence case, and then attendance makes the difference is in title case. Is there a reason for that?
And not specifically, we've engaged with the narrative project to do our creative piece, and that was just the design that they had shared with us and the one that we chose.
Okay, I don't know. I feel a little conflicted about it because, title case is used for like titles, so if, I think the attendance makes the difference is sort of like the slogan. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I understand, why it's bold and why it pops, but it's also a little, I don't know, conflicting to me that the first sentence is like a regular sentence and then attendance makes the difference is in title case. So anyway, just some food for thought. I don't know that it's worth it to make a drastic change at this point, but in the future, if we do revisit, the possibility of changing the colors and sprucing it up, then that might be something that we want to also take a look at.
Absolutely, and I definitely will bring it to the board because I really appreciate all of the feedback. With the first rollout, we were in a little bit of a time crunch, and really, although we did put a lot of intentionality into it, I think that the more feedback we can receive on the billboard, the better. So thank you.
Thank you.
And definitely, I'm looking forward to, like, I know there's guidelines we have to stay within, which I think we all totally understand. But I really hope that even after, this grant cycle for this particular grant, goes away, that we find some way to keep money like this available to do advertising on this level, because I think it is working. And then we could also have more freedom to put in to display any and all things that we want to. Not to say that we're not happy with with this particular thing, but I know, some of the questions that Ms. Castillo, brings about, I often, I understand where she's coming from, because if we're set to a certain, length of stuff, like, there's probably lines we cannot cross, but I'm looking forward to, like, if there's possible opportunities in the future so we can have more creative expression when it comes to this, if we revisit this again.
I think that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have safety concerns. I get a little worried when people send me pictures of the billboard.
Listen, I'm not even gonna tell you what I was doing, so I'm just not gonna tell you, and just know that we are out there on the highway doing stuff we shouldn't be doing to take pictures of the billboard. Just But other than that, the last agenda item on here is for us to discuss potential agenda items for the next meeting. I'm going to continue to keep both of these two items as a continue item, because it's going to be forever developing until the final rollout of them. So I want to make sure we keep space and a place for them. But I want to open up the floor for Ms. Castillo, Mr. Benahan to share any items or thoughts that they would like to add. If not, it's totally fine. We do have quite a few standing ones that will be standing for the next couple months until the school year is done, and then probably roll over into the next school year as well. But the floor is you guys. Oh, yeah, after them, then I'll go to you. Go ahead, Mr. Benahan, Ms. Castillo.
No, I'm okay right now, Ms. Brown. Anything that I come in my mind. So I'll let you know, email you. But I'm okay so far for now.
Got it. Thank you, Ms. Castillo.
Same. I'm okay for now. Thank you guys so much for taking the time, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness behind, some of the things you presented today. And I look forward to, continuing the conversation.
Thank you. I love this. This committee because they're like, let's dive in and then let's move forward. And then Mr. Bronson, I'm probably saying this wrong. Bronson?
No, Ms. Brown, that's fine. I just didn't know if you wanted us to excuse ourselves before you
We're done. We're done.
did committee business. I
Yeah,
didn't
this is
intrude.
the last thing. So if you want to say for me to end the meeting, you can.
Well, certainly can. No, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be on top of your committee's business. I want to thank you all for welcoming us and sharing, our progress and our ideas. And we really value your feedback. And we look forward to seeing a very nice, sharing a nice document with you in the next.
Definitely. And you'll be back. I will continue because our goal is to keep this conversation going so that where everything that we put out aligns with the overall district's logo, branding, messaging, all of that. So we'll be continuously, and the goal is also to be able to get that same system happening with all other committees or programs that have anything that our logo or branding needs to be on. So that's the goal. And what I'll do also to Ms. Rocha and Ms. Lynn is to reach out to Tim. I'm not sure if he's on here, but I'll make sure I shoot an email to Tim, just a reminder, because I would love for every once in a while for us to highlight our logos, our billboards on the social media pages as well, so that we don't encourage parents to drive and take pictures, but they are aware that their kids are being highlighted up there as well. Other than that, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So moved. Second.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions?
Aye.
Concerns? Oh, nope. Any questions, concerns?
No questions, no concerns.
Perfect. Everybody, will see you next month. Same 6:30, same place, same time. If it's not online, it'll be at Central. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
God bless
Good
you all.
evening.
Bobby, I
Bye.
love your billboard. It looks great.